Hey, this is Dara Connolly, your fearless confidence coach. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to show confidence during an interview. Let's do it. Okay, let's jump right in because I know your time is valuable and I'm going to be giving you tips on how you can really win over someone on an interview. But this is also helpful if you're in a romantic situation and you want to really get that person to like you, or maybe just a casual setting and you want to really make a good impression. So the very first tip, I have three, but the very first one is to mirror the other person. Now there's a difference between mirroring and copying. So let me differentiate this for you because you don't want to be caught copying someone. That comes across a little bit too cheesy. We know most of our communication is nonverbal. And if the other person is having a very relaxed style and they're smiling, make sure you're going to smile back. If you notice that they're leaning in and really engaged, then you'll find a moment during your conversation when it's natural to also lean in. Now, we don't copy because copying would be they scratch, oh, then you scratch. They cross an arm, you cross an arm. We don't do it instantly. We wait for the right opportunity, and you're not going to mimic everything they do. You pick two or three things. So if they take a sip of water, in a moment, you take a sip of water. If they maybe cross a leg over, then as you're talking, you casually cross a leg over. Now, why do we do this? Because we like people that are like us. So when we mirror the other person, we mirror their style, we mirror their mannerisms, we mirror what they're doing, they think, oh, they're a lot like me. And it's a very unconscious thing. They're not really aware of it, but they just know when they leave that interaction that I like this person. And same for you. You start to really feel a connection, and that's important. It's a nonverbal connection. So you can do it in little ways. You can start to point your feet in the direction they're pointing. If you notice that they look away for a second and notice something, you can look away and notice. Just be very natural about it. And you don't have to, again, mirror absolutely everything. You pick a few things and it just creates that synergy because communication, remember, is a dance. One person's talking, one person's listening. And when we take turns with that back and forth and it becomes in sync and mirroring helps it be in sync, it's a very natural communication. And when people leave that interaction, they're going to say, I really like talking to that person. I really like talking to Dara. I felt connected to her. And it was because she was able to mirror in that situation. Okay, now tip 2 is something that I'm still working on and I want you to do as well. And it's when you're speaking to pause a little longer. Now, we talked about tone and pace in other videos, but pausing is a little bit different. I want you to use pausing to your advantage. Okay, now full disclosure here. I'm an East Coast girl. I can talk fast and I'm used to talking fast. But if I were to talk at my natural pace, that if I was just casually having a coffee with somebody and I wanted to tell them a story, I would probably talk about this fast and I would lose you instantly because you couldn't hear a word I said. So when we're speaking for impact and really want to make a difference so we're seen and heard, we're going to say a few words, then pause. Now the pause is only 1 or 2 seconds. Don't pause too long or it becomes a little bit socially awkward. But I'm sure you've noticed this happening. Maybe you've seen people out at dinner and you notice that there's like that moment of silence where it's a lull in the conversation. Maybe this has happened to you where you're speaking to someone and then all of a sudden they're quiet, you're quiet, and it's, maybe it feels a little awkward, but it's okay. I want you to hold that silence and not feel awkward about it. You see, there's nothing wrong with silence in dialogue. It's actually very powerful. Silence can be used to show confidence. So when we pause in our natural speaking, it really is a way to show, number one, that you're confident in yourself, to not fill every second. And number two, it helps you really pull the person into what you're saying. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I was giving a speech, doesn't even need to be a speech. If I'm on a job interview and they say, tell me about your last position, something that was difficult for you. I'm going to pause for a moment before I start speaking. So it gives me time to think. And then I begin with the story. Oh, I have a great example to share with you. This is something that was really exciting. I can't wait to tell you. Then I pause because I want them to lean in to make sure they're really engaged. What happened was, up, 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 and then pause and hold the eye contact, add the smile for extra. And what you're doing is you're sealing that story or that main point. You're really locking it in. So we pause before the main point, and then we pause after we say it to be sure that the audience or the person we're speaking with heard it. When we pause in this way, it makes our communication so much more effective. Now, you can do it beyond that. It can be pausing after you tell a joke, because that helps the joke land and it gives people a chance to laugh. If you rattle through your jokes and there's no time to laugh, it's not going to be very funny. Pausing is important. A confident person can handle the pause. People that feel insecure feel uncomfortable with that silence. So notice if you're constantly filling the silence, or are you able to pause for a few seconds to help your communication be more effective? Okay, before I get to tip 3, be sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because you're not going to want to miss any future videos that I post. And also what you're going to see down below is the link for DaraConnollyCLUB, which is brand new content that I film every week to help you be a phenomenal speaker and exude confidence. So after this video, go ahead and smash that button. All right, so tip number 3 is something you probably haven't heard me tell before, because I am always reaching for new and something that's different that you maybe haven't heard. So when we think about making an impact on a job interview or anywhere you have to make a great first impression, I want you to be charming. Now, what is charm? I've been asked this question from clients a lot. Are you born with it? Can you develop it? I believe nobody's born charming. This is a learned skill, because a charming person does smile. We're not born smiling necessarily. Most of us have to learn to smile. A charming person makes eye contact. A charming person will go out of their way to notice something about you and ask you about it. You see, everybody in the planet is interested in talking about themselves. And when you meet someone who's interested in you and shows an interest in you and wants to talk about you, all of a sudden you like that person even more, don't you? So charm is a way to get involved with another person. So how does this translate? You're on a job interview and you see a picture frame of their family there. Oh, is that your family? What beautiful children you have. How old are they? Do they play sports? Show an interest in other people. Now, don't do it if you're not sincere. Don't be phony, but hopefully you see something or pick up something that gets you interested. Maybe you're an avid sports player and you walk in their office and you see a sports memorabilia on the wall. Comment on that. Oh, I like that team too. Or wow, they had a rough season. Show an interest in other people. That helps bring in your charm. You can do this in lots of different ways, but the best way to do it so it doesn't come across as like you're questioning the person or being too nosy is to make sure you say it with a smile and you keep friendly tone and eye contact, and that'll help bring it into the realm of being charming. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on this video, post a comment below, and then be sure to take a peek at my next video, which is how to show you're self-confident. And don't forget to hit the button below for DaraConnollyCLUB to get all my latest videos. Until then, you are amazing.